Welcome back. Joining us virtually, we have local attorney Alex Stanford. Good afternoon, Alex. How are you?
Good afternoon, Taylor. I'm great. Thanks for having me. Always a pleasure.
It's great to have you. So we're talking about LCG's lawsuit against John Merrifield, and he's the man that started those Antifa protests and groups that kind of got everyone all riled up.
Yes, this has been big news. I've been following this story pretty closely. As your viewers may remember, I do a lot of First Amendment work. That was one of my areas, so I was very interested in this suit when it was filed, because I, along with everybody else, thought this was going to be a First Amendment controlled issue. It was going to be protected speech, and so I didn't see a whole lot coming out of this. The optics of the suit didn't look super great. We know that there were some issues with some of the executive orders that Mr. Guillory implemented about protesting and whatnot. So there was a lot of heat coming on it, but I wanted to reserve judgment until I really got a better appreciation of the facts. And after looking at the petition, I realized that there's actually more to this story. So there's two narratives at play in here. There's the narrative that the Lafayette government is putting forward, and then there's the narrative that the defendant, Mr. Merrifield, is putting forward. And so obviously we're aware of the First Amendment issues. His defense is that this is protected speech and that this is nothing more than a frivolous and malicious attempt to silence him and chill free speech. And there's a lot of buzzwords that are being thrown around that are typically used in First Amendment style cases. Chilling effect is one of them, because they say, well, look, if you're gonna sue people for just making political commentary, you're gonna chill the discussion. That's obviously a big issue that the courts are trying to protect. But the other side of the coin, this guy took actions, and those actions were reasonably foreseeable in causing people to think that these events were real. And then that would require the police to have to show up with a significant presence to maintain the peace and order, and that would come at a lot of taxpayer burden, and that then would qualify as a damage. And so the lawsuit is actually framed as a tort lawsuit, which is a wrongful action lawsuit. It's not a free speech lawsuit. It's not a federal lawsuit. This is in the 15th Judicial District. This is in Lafayette Parish. They're arguing that this is negligence, that this guy made these events, and he was negligent because it led to people believing it was real, which forced the police to show up en masse at the mall, and he should have known better, because this was the second event he had created, and so the government is trying to recoup the losses that they had to expend to pay the police to go out there and waste their time. So they're framing it as just a negligence suit. The defendant has actually filed a motion to dismiss the suit, and his attorney gave a public statement about it, and he said that he used a lot of the buzzwords, and he said that the petition, one of the things that was any first-year law student would be able to see that you can't have a cause of action based on the language of negligence. And so he was trying to say there's no real teeth to the petition. It's just a bunch of smoke and mirrors, and it's trying to bully the defendant and basically silence all other people who could do things that are similar to that. But what I found very interesting is that as a tort lawyer, we base lawsuits in negligence language all the time. It's perfectly okay to say that this guy did something that was negligent. It led to damages. They were foreseeable. He caused them. Therefore, you're entitled to recover damages in the amount of whatever's set by the court. So I found his comments very puzzling for that. And he also said that the public widely believed that these events were legitimate, which to me was a terrible thing to admit, because if the whole thing is this was satire and it was not to be taken seriously, and so the police acted unreasonably, which is why I don't owe them for their taxpayer dollars that were spent, that really undercuts that argument when you're going on record saying that a lot of people believe this was a legit Antifa event. Well, then of course the police are going to take action. So
it's definitely going to be interesting to watch, I'm sure. And I'm sure we're going to be following this as it kind of progresses, because new developments are coming with that every single day. Alex, thank you so much for joining us. If you guys want to learn more, website, klaf.com. Let's go ahead and check in with Corey.